If you are the world's richest man, doesn't that also make you the world's greediest man? And I'm not a religious person, so I won't say the greed is a sin, but isn't greed something that only leads to death and destruction and ruin, the exploitation of millions who toil and suffer so that a small few can enjoy untold luxury while the rest of us eat shit? Doomed Planet Podcast Episode 12, Inside Jeff's Balls. Talking, of course, about the world's richest person, Jeff Bezos. And he built Seattle's largest spheres as a monument to himself and his wealth. So believe it or not, the Doomed Planet podcast kind of morphed out of a project that we were calling Bezos Town. And you can still go to Twitter at Bezos Town to see that. And right now, Bezos Town is just a section of our podcast, if that, and this episode, and maybe a future episode. But there's so much involved with what this guy, Jeff Bezos, is doing and what his company is doing that you would literally need a newsroom the size of the Washington Post, owned by Jeff Bezos, to try to begin to cover what this company is doing, what Jeff is doing with his other companies like Blue Origin, his rocket company. I really, I don't have the resources or the time. And after about a year of just following Jeff very closely, and that's when he did gain the crown of world's richest man, I just got really sick of this guy. He has no humanity. He's brilliant at business and brilliant at getting Wall Street to pump money into his schemes, but it's the kind of guy that doesn't know art. He doesn't know beauty in the sense of art, other than, purchasing a $100 million painting. He's a pure technocrat, pure STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, and no room for the love of nature or art or beauty or creativity unless you are creating a scheme to exploit workers. And so we'll get through this episode because we're going to focus on the big balls that he built in downtown Seattle that are supposed to be this, biosphere with rare plants, but are really just a big, ugly machine-like monstrosity that you could see in space. And of course, he does have these delusional public plans to build space colonies so he can have space serfs labor for him up there orbiting around Earth or the moon or whatnot, and they will be born there and they will die there and they'll never see the beauty that is our doomed planet. Welcome.
$1 billion stacked up right without an accident is about 800 times the height of the Washington Monument.
The Amazon spheres at 7th and Lenora, or actually the whole block between 6th and 7th, opened in January 2018. And they're supposed to be part employee lounge and part plant conservatory. But there's more lounge than plants. The plants are literally window dressing, although they claim to have 40,000 of them. There's also meeting spaces, meeting nooks, some stores and little cafes. And they're located under the Day One building on Lenora Street. Every building on this massive Amazon campus in South Lake Union and Belltown and whatnot in downtown Seattle is named after something important to Jeff and to the company. There's the Doppler building. And of course, Day One, if you work in an asshole company like this with this incredibly vicious, cutthroat corporate culture, every day is Day One. Like you accomplish something great at Amazon, the next day your supervisor is going to come and say, well, now I want you to create something that will literally put you out of a job. I want you to use your brilliance to come up with something that can replace a human being. And then, of course, there'll be a place for you in the company up the ladder as we keep doing this, keep making ourselves obsolete, keep cutting our own throats until there is one man left. Jeff Bezos.
I'm a person. They're gonna kill us all. I wish I was shorter because they like people that are tall.
There was a widely covered dedication ceremony for Jeff's balls, otherwise known as the Amazon Spheres, January 29th, 2018. Mayor Jenny Durkin, County Executive Dow Constantine, and Governor Jay Inslee, three proud Democrats who are really in a more enlightened country somewhere in Europe would be considered not just centrists, but right-wing politicians, helped Jeff. He opened the complex using an Alexa voice command. You can sign up to tour the Spheres. It's a pretty draconian process. Good luck getting in there. You can also go to the understory. It's an exhibit below the Spheres about the Spheres. And it's not that impressive. I mean, it has the architectural models from NBBJ. That's the Seattle ruling class real estate baron architecture firm that helped design the Spheres. A museum about the Spheres located in the Spheres. That's free to the public. If you want a tour of the actual Amazon Spheres, you have to sign up and give them your personal information, which I did. If you try to book a visit to the Spheres or book a tour for the Amazon tour of their headquarters and campus, you'll see it's booked way in advance. However, due to the graciousness of Jeff and his company, Amazon, the Amazon Spheres are open to the public 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. the first and third Saturdays of the month. Thank you. Thank you so much. One of the cafes at the Spheres is called the General Porpoise, as in the sea creature. It's really a place for the common man to come and enjoy simple, down-home American food. Quote, "Donuts at General Porpoise are made with fresh eggs from La Ferme d'Aon chickens and are filled with seasonal jams, jellies, curds, custards, and creams. Expect classic flavors like vanilla custard or berries and cream, as well as new favorites like peanut butter and jelly, roasted lemon curd, apple butter, and chocolate marshmallow. In addition to donuts, General Porpoise serves top-quality coffees." Okay, fine. Renee Erickson's restaurant empire. The Amazon Spheres link takes you to eatseacreatures.com, and that's a great thing to do. It's a beautiful and delicious thing. It's also sort of satanic. It's like, it might as well be killseacreatures.com. The Walrus and the Carpenter, The Whale Wins, Deep Dive, General Porpoise. And, we talked about Tom Douglas and his restaurant empire in a previous episode. I am skeptical of a chef that turns from running a restaurant or four into someone with an empire and corporate backers, maybe even a hedge fund. I mean, come on. That's what Amazon has inflicted on our town. We have gone from shitty bar food and not that many restaurants as early as the late 80s to an overabundance of expensive and delicious, precious twee restaurants. We'll take a deep dive into the Spheres in a minute, but you look on their Facebook page and you see there's a selfie wall at the Amazon Spheres, and it's a wall covered with beautiful plants, but there's also the logo, which says The Spheres, but underneath is the distinctive Amazon sideways penis from the Amazon logo, which sort of ruins the view. If you go to seattlespheres.com, that's funny, it's not the Amazon Spheres, it's for all of Seattle. Even though it's private property in a private building controlled by a private corporation. But the outside is not. Anyone can see the outside, can see those balls. And by the way, there are 3 balls. These are 2 balls is not good enough for Jeff and his unfeasibly large ego. Union Buster Jeff Gonad and his unfeasibly large testicles. Thank you, Viz Magazine media shout out. That used to be a cool working class comic book, really, from the UK. And also thanks to we have 4 views or 4 plays from England. So welcome, British Isles. The show actually would be designed for you and your English-speaking country. The mind-melting corporate speak of the Amazon Spheres propaganda website Building the spheres required extensive teamwork and collaboration in the community. The spheres are a result of innovative thinking about the character of a workplace and an extended conversation about what is typically missing from urban offices, a direct link to nature. And again, that is a satanic lie. It's a big steel and glass building with some plants shoved in it. And furthermore, every other fucking building on the Amazon campus, whether it be LEED certified or not, and that's another corporate conspiracy, every other building on the Amazon campus is just one of these big ugly towers without any fucking nature in it. So, unreal. These spheres are home to more than 40,000 plants from the cloud forest regions of over 30 countries. Instead of building a park, you can build a several $100 million structure, use all that materials and all that carbon so that you can shove some plants inside of that. The spheres has a corpse flower, one of those giant tropical plants that when it blooms, it produces a horrible stench of dead bodies. And I think that pleases Jeff, like smelling the stench of thousands or millions of dead bodies. He imagines that he's lorded over. They are no longer useful as workers. They've been replaced by robots, and now it's, if I dare say, he's going to revel in the genocide. He might not kill them himself. His private army might not kill them. He might not be the one to unleash a pandemic, but he will thrill in that. You can imagine he is a sick mind, and he literally will have a psychic orgasm when he thinks of the millions of his former workers that have been turned to corpses and smell like this beautiful, expensive, rare flower that is ensconced within his balls. John Fox writes, January 31st, 2018, Amazon Spheres, new Seattle icon or glorified food court. I'm not the only person that is of the opinion that, yes, it's a beautiful building from the outside, and it helps present Seattle as a world-class city. We have the needle and now the spheres, and together that is like a cock and ball situation. Seattle shows off its world-class inferiority complex. Gaudy bubbles highlight drab sameness of downtown buildings going up around them. And again, Amazon says the spheres were an innovative way to look at how we can integrate plant life with the office environment. And then every other fucking Amazon building in the entire campus is just a big old ugly LEED certified tower. It's madness. So these funky buildings with the funky exteriors are way overhyped. I'm thinking of what is now MoPop, the Museum of Pop Culture, formerly the Experience Music Project. This is a vanity project by the late billionaire Paul Allen. He's interested in rock and roll, and so he wanted a rock museum. He's also interested in science fiction, so we're going to put some of that in there. And, of course, Frank Gehry designed that. Looks like, it's funky outside with odd, obtuse curves, like a turtle here and a spike there. And the secret is that, with computer modeling and modern with AI and whatnot plugged into your computer-aided design program, if you're an architect, you can design these funky, crazy buildings, but on the inside, it's still just a box. So it's literally a facade, the Frank Gehry MoPop building. It's a box like any normal building with clad in this pretentious, ostentatious, expensive shell. These aren't the only spheres in the world. In Belfast, Ireland, Victoria Square has a geodesic sphere situation, which is open to the public. Imagine that. From the sidewalk, the garish bulbs of the Amazon spheres punctuate a streetscape increasingly crammed cheek to jowl with taller and taller buildings, uniform in their sameness. The spheres just remind us of how drab, in general, Seattle's architecture has become. A lot of that has to do with city leaders too willing to adopt land use and zoning rules that pay little or no heed to the existing physical, social, and historic character of our communities, from John Fox. And yeah, Seattle is a big money town. And where do you think the big money goes? Real estate. Fox shows here that in Cornwall, England, you have the Eden Centers, beautiful series of spheres that are open to the public. Imagine that.
Hi there, who are you?
I'm Jeff Bezos.
And what is your claim to fame?
I'm the founder of Amazon.com.
Corporate class, high-end Seattle architecture firm NBBJ. They're working with Amazon successfully at this point, reading some of their older propaganda, on 3.3 million square feet of office space on 3 city blocks. 3 37-story high-rise office towers, a mid-rise building, a multi-purpose meeting center that seats 2,000 people, and the landmark building, the Spheres. Quote, to reflect Amazon's community-focused culture, the design seeks to build a neighborhood rather than a campus, with emphasis given to ground-level amenities open to the public and to diversity in building character. One of those amenities, which is right down the street from the Spheres, is Amazon Go. This is a cashierless store that utilizes artificial intelligence and all the latest technology so that you can click into your app, walk into the store, and walk out without interacting with any other human beings. And it's a labor-killing scheme that is satanic, but according to NBBJ, and again, corporate speak is only worse than the next when it is architecture firm corporate speak. That's an amenity. Amazon Go is an amenity for the neighborhood. And of course, if you don't have a cell phone or a credit card, you're not allowed in. What kind of a society do we live in? NBBJ.com describes the Spheres. The centerpiece of the new Amazon headquarters is the Spheres, a multi-story glass-enclosed workplace containing tens of thousands of plants and trees from around the world. As exposure to nature is proven to put people at ease and help them think more creatively, the Spheres are designed to help Amazon employees feel and work their best, and are open to the public on weekends. As far as I know, they're open 2 Saturdays a month, not weekends, and that's for a 6-hour window each Saturday. And as far as Amazon employees relaxing at the Spheres, I think they might get a thrill from knowing how much money was spent on the Spheres and that they are part of that. Oh, I work for this rich, wealthy corporation, and wow, my starting salary is $150K because I was top of my class at the engineering school I went to that has 20,000 students, and I'm going to have this great life, and Amazon is going to make me wealthy with the stock options. I don't know how it eases stress to be in this building where it's windows all around, but what is your view? It's of other buildings. It's of the Amazon campus. And the plants in the Spheres here, they're frightened. They're frightened plants that are, how much money do you have to spend to keep a plant alive in this artificial environment? Clearly, this is Jeff Bezos. This is his way of testing, will my workers be able to survive in space? For every 6 37-story long space tubes for my space laborers, I'm going to have to build some space spheres that the laborers, once every 6 months can shuttle over to this artificial environment where we have some earth plants crammed in there. And if that's not enough greenwash for Amazon, some of their buildings on their campus are LEED certified. That's a U.S. Green Building Council. It's a non-profit 501c3 Okay, leadership in energy and environmental design, LEED. It has a green building rating system. But this is a nonprofit that is working hand in hand with the, if you're a billionaire, you get that, slap that LEED on there and you add $1 million to the price of your building. And it's basically a propaganda device. I mean, you're going to build a 31-story tower. What is the carbon footprint of that? How many materials, how many trucks are driving down the road back and forth for that? You know, be wary of LEED when a billionaire slaps it on their building. We want to do Rusty, the media watchdog, shout out for the Seattle Times.
Media watchdog.
Now, this is a true story. I broke the story of squatters living in the old Seattle Times building. I went by there one day, and this is in South Lake Union where Amazon has taken over. And I saw some people scurrying past this boarded up door at the beautiful old Seattle Times building. I stuck my GoPro in there and I could see people and a squat. So I put that on Facebook, and then maybe a few days later, the Seattle Times mentions that they're now located in an office park in some godforsaken Seattle suburb. There's another great story. I don't have the details here, but the Seattle Times has survived partially by selling off family land holdings. They sold a building in South Lake Union to a developer, I think for $11 million. And then only a few years later, Amazon bought the property for $90 million. The Blethen family, owners of the Times, I know a couple of them that are good people, but the people on the editorial board or making the financial decisions have failed badly. And this all goes back to it was 1999, 2000, the Seattle Times strike that crippled the paper. Frank Blethen turned down an offer from Hearst to buy out the Seattle Times for $1 billion. And now they have nothing. I don't think it makes any money, but you know, doing a Seattle true crime podcast, I was interested in getting access to their archives, and I thought, okay, if I subscribe or maybe pay a premium, I can maybe get access. But no, if you go to the Seattle Times store historical archive pricing information, again, this is copyright 2014, the Seattle Times, a single article is $3.95. An unlimited 24-hour pass is $20. That's madness. If you want a month pass, which only gives you 100 articles, that's $29.95. And I'm not sure who is subscribing to that. And I know that I would pay maybe $10 or $20 a month to have unlimited access to the Seattle Times, maybe $3.95 a month, but no. So that's it. Rusty, the media watchdog. It used to be a monopoly or a duopoly, a monopsony. The Seattle Times, the only game in town. And now it is nothing. It is literally shit. Seems like the Amazon monopoly is in every business. And at one point they were delivering meal kits. So this is for people who cannot cook or want to learn to cook and don't know what a cookbook is. And so if you'll pardon the bad audio, we're going to do an unboxing of an Amazon meal kit, and that might show how ridiculous the concept is. Hi, today we are unboxing the Amazon Meal Kits Veggie Quinoa Bowl with spiced chickpeas. Nice graphics, some explanation of what you have to do there. Of course, these meal kits are my worst nightmare, so here's, oh God, some baby kale. In case you didn't know what that is, there's a big sticker on it, baby kale. This is turned, okay? So that's not, I mean, we could have cooked this meal kit sooner, so that's not our fault, but it's, Oh, and then we have some Greek yogurt. Oh, it's yogurt. That's Greek. It's like you're eating cream, basically. And then orange yams. In case you didn't know that these were yams, here's some yams. They've been chopped. A lemon, not the best lemon. It's rotten right there. I call that a warehouse lemon. So it feels like it's been sitting in a warehouse instead of on a nice tree. And then here we have our quinoa. It's been pre-cooked in case you don't know how to cook stuff. Kind of dry. Red onion, labeled in case you didn't know what that is, and that is pre-sliced cauliflower. A can of Seneca garbanzo beans. Maple tahini. Paprika seeds. Okay, that's interesting. That's something I'll keep. And spice blend. That's nice. Garlic. Oh, look, here's what I love about these meal kits. Here's your pre-peeled, rancid 3 pieces of fucking garlic.
Yo, I'm a tortilla.
I'm a tortilla, baby. I got cheese.
I got beans.
I got the little bit of meat and
Sour cream.
Because we have to mention John Schottler. He is Amazon's lead global corporate real estate guy. He oversaw the rapid expansion of Amazon office space from 1 million to 18 million square feet. And he's one of the top guys at Amazon, and he helped spearhead the Jeff's balls.
Well, there's somebody here who needs a gigantic thank you. And of course, it's John Schottler.
You think corporate speak is bad or architect corporate speak is bad? Then the head real estate guy for the world's richest capitalist. And what is capitalism if not a real estate Ponzi scheme? Boy, his corporate speak, John Schottler, is really bad. And here, May 16th, 2019, he's talking about Amazon's new Arlington campus. And of course, Amazon doing like a reality TV show contest pitting American cities against each other to throw corporate welfare at them for their HQ2 projects. One result is that Arlington gets an Amazon campus and jobs. John Schottler says, as we develop plans for our second headquarters in Arlington, we are looking to foster a sense of place for our teams and community residents. We are looking to build an urban campus that will allow our employees to think creatively, to be a part of the surrounding community, and to remain connected to the region's unique culture and environment. As with our Seattle headquarters, we plan to invest in developing a new headquarters in Arlington that will grow alongside its neighbors, supporting local businesses, building new public spaces for all to enjoy, and integrating sustainable design features throughout our campus. So you have the LEED Platinum certified buildings. And of course, Amazon coming to Arlington has caused real estate values to skyrocket in the area and has jacked up rents unbelievably. So you're bringing gentrification. The world is going to run out of rich and moderately rich people at a certain point. And then what? Who are you going to build these buildings for? And this is from the Amazon blog, which is called Day One. And of course, Day One is written in the Amazon typeface with the Amazon sideways penis logo underneath. Because we want to remind you of that sideways situation. The Amazon corporate speak is really bad. As you know, they call their minimum wage people that are destroying their minds and their bodies in the warehouses, and there are hundreds of thousands of those people. I think they're called associates. And of course, John Schottler, director of Amazon Global Real Estate Fuckery, he's promising street-level retail and restaurants for the Amazon Arlington campus. 65,000 square feet. Of course, he thinks in terms of square footage, this guy. Not humanity. It's all about dollars divided by square feet. New retail space for shops, restaurants, and a daycare center for area residents and Amazonians. Amazonians.
Oshkinyan.
Ioska.
Oshkinyan.
Iskata. Kastofka.
Ishkinyan.
Spani askat.
Ishkinyan. Hold down.
Iskaf. Sharzad.
Ishkinyan.
Armando.
Ishkinyan.
Iska lapto testa.
Nyan.
Iska.
Oshkinyan.
Ioska.
Oshkinyan.
And I don't think he means that race of really hot, tall women on that island near Atlantis. And I'm going to love to see the lower income mom try to come into the Amazon daycare center with the other Amazonians and try to get a spot at that daycare center. Right, take me out of the Amazon Day One blog rabbit hole. But not before we look at what is the most popular today. By the way, today is the day after the Iowa caucuses, and we do not have results, and I'm not going to go into that now. We're recording this podcast about a month in advance, but I could not expect more from the Democratic Party. In the sustainability section, the big ideas and tiny details behind Amazon's new recyclable mailer. From the lab to the fulfillment center. Employees contributed to the innovations behind a mailer that can be recycled in the same bin as Amazon's iconic box. That is incredible. You are saving the earth by doing this. You are eco-heroes. This is the Green New Deal personified. Amazon Go, little shop where they cut away the workers and the unions. And you just go in and bloop with your cell phone and you're in there. And it's really the one in Seattle. The first one is very small. It's like smaller than a 7-Eleven. And there are just cameras and tech and gear everywhere up in the ceiling that you can see, monitoring, perhaps your thoughts and your facial expressions, your body temperature, who knows. It's like snackety snack items at the Amazon Go store. You can buy beer, but it seems to be geared towards the Amazon worker who has come out of the Doppler building across the street and wants to get a pre-made sandwich and a little thing of iced tea, right? This was one of the first days the Amazon Go store had just opened, so I got a free Amazon Go sideways penis logo cloth grocery bag. And I bought a Coke, something I don't drink anymore, and just walked out of the store. There were 3 employees there just monitoring the situation, making sure there were no snafus or anything. Not the 100% job killer that Jeff imagines, but close enough. And, supermarket cashiers many of them are unionized, and it's a decent job, and someone like Jeff Bezos, if he could make one more penny eliminating the jobs from those tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people, he would do it for just one more penny. Absolutely. So they did let me film with my iPhone in the Amazon Go store, and of course they're filming you, so that should work both ways. Like, they cannot prohibit use of cell phone videography in a store where they're surveilling you with multiple integrated technologies, right? That's the way I feel at the QFC or Safeway to Seattle, United States grocery stores. I'm going to whip out my phone and film in there if I want because you're filming me. How is that a violation of the law? Oh, you can't film on private property. Well, you maybe can't film other people on private property. Or maybe you can. I'd be interested to see what a judge has to say about that. They're filming me 6 ways to Sunday, so I'm going to fucking film them. It's liberating having that everyone has a video camera on their fucking cell phone. Amazon Go, it's innovation for profit. And the profit will trickle down to you, the worker.
4 years ago, we wondered how we could muscle in on the supermarket industry. What if we could weave Silicon Valley tech douchebag concepts like machine learning, computer vision, and AI into a system that made human workers obsolete? People of Earth, you are materialists, doomed, avaricious, ignorant sociopaths. And that's why you love Amazon Go. Use the Amazon Go app to enter, and we will track everything about you from there. The money we'll save by eliminating workers and their unions will go to our stockholders. Our customers will get convenience and cheesecake cupcakes. And the freedom to crave and to reject and then to acquire and spend. Freedom! How does it work? We use computer vision, deep learning, and sensor fusion, the kind of shit that robots will soon use to end the human race. And we call it just walk out technology, because your jobs are walking out and not coming back. And then you can keep going, saving several valuable minutes of your self-important life. Welcome to a future where people interact with their phones, but not with other people. Your data, including intimate biometric information, is now a part of our cloud. Suckers! No lines, no checkout, no union, no workers, no future. No, seriously. Our message to the more than 1 million unionized supermarket workers in the USA? Go to hell.
Okay, we're ready to tour the Amazon spheres, known affectionately by sphere-worshipping Seattleites as Jeff's balls. But first you have to go to the understory. This is the area that's open to the public. It's a museum about the museum or the sphere or whatever it is. And you go in, there's several Amazon employees. You know, none of these people were going to be over the age of 30. And they're wearing Amazon Spheres polo shirts, and they have the lanyard with the Amazon ID. And then you're just going to see some charts and some John Shetler, worship of John Shetler, Amazon's director of square footage, and a couple architectural models, and, you know, just sort of lame. It's not something you're going to travel from great distances to go see when you're coming to Seattle. So you got black jeans, the Amazon Spheres polo shirt, stylish sneaks. One thing about a lot of these Amazon employees you'll notice is that they look very weak. These men, they're just skinny and slight, and they spent a lot of time in front of a computer, and it's turned them into what is that, Wall-E? They're the reverse of the Wall-E, the movie about the robot. The reverse of that, the big fat guys that are stuck in wheelchairs with a screen right in front of them and a Diet Coke. Both two angles of the same horrible problem. Odd ambient music, almost like Muzak when you go into the Amazon spheres. It's pretty crowded. Maybe that's because this is visitor day, but the peace and tranquility are not there. So I'm watching my video that I took from within the spheres, and it's been a while, and I see there's 4 young, attractive Amazon workers with their laptops, and they're sitting in this nook, which is done in this Louise Nevelson sculptural style with beautiful ancient teak wood. I assume the most expensive. But then I pull back and you see, no, it's a little girl watching a video about Amazon workers who are sitting there. It was a big to-do when they opened the Amazon spheres, and Cisco was there. This is a guy, sort of a elderly boomer gardening expert that appears on local TV, and he's sort of eccentric, right? And so he was there touting the beauty of the plants. Just accidentally taking some close-ups of the plants, looking back, and I see there's this mister. It's this watering device that I didn't notice before. And well, of course, if you're in one of Jeff's space tubes, and there are any plant, if there's any plant life at all in there, they're going to need sort of that artificial mist to remind them of what Earth was like. So Ron Gagliardo is the senior manager of horticultural services for the Amazon spheres. He looks like a tech guy. He's 30-something, white guy with the designer glasses and the closely cropped yet stylish haircut and a sweater that is both casual and dressy. So yeah, the average Amazon employee, looking back at my slideshow of the spheres, could be personified in this photo. 4 people are walking by the spheres. 2 of them have those puffy down jackets. 1 has sweats. The other 3 have jeans. They all have their Amazon lanyards either around their neck or, as is the popular style, near their crotch. That's the blue card that shows that they are an Amazon employee, not just some lowly temp, because Amazon, color codes their class system. And then you have like a Asian kid. And again, these are all under the age of 30. Most anyone you see around the Amazon campus, because they're going to grind your soul and body away so that you are desperate to escape and never come back by the time you reach 30, if you last that long at all. And normally when you're hired at Amazon, there's like a 2-year window of punishment. So in order to achieve your stock options and stuff, you need to be there 2 years. And so many people do not make it. And then they have to give their advance back if they haven't spent it already. All right, so you got your Asian kid, you got your East Asian kid, 2 white guys who are not looking that athletic. That's your Amazon campus employee. That's a lot different than the drudge who might work at a warehouse somewhere in a right-to-work, low minimum wage state. But that's what you're going to see on the streets of Seattle. It's a big line to get into the spheres when they are open, which is not often when they are open to the public. And I have this photo of a big line of people, and then in front is this tree covered in Christmas lights, and it's a barren tree covered in these electrical cords and bulbs. And again, I'm thinking, yeah, that's Jeff's vision of the future. If there is a tree of any kind in his space slave colony or colonies, it will be this kind of tree, a dead stick wrapped in technocratic lighting and other gear, because we don't want nature or beauty. We want gear. Of course, we have all gender restrooms. That's a good thing. There's a little plaque that says, quote, "One thing that's missing in today's workplace is a link to nature, and that's what we're doing here. John Shetler, Vice President, Amazon Real Estate, etc., etc."
I am a big believer in smart growth.
South Lake Union is dedicated, open, generous,
Original.
fresh,
bright, vital,
innovative.
And my photo of this plaque shows in the background not nature, but some steel girders and windows. And then in the background, not nature, just big, tall, ugly Amazon buildings. So the Amazon spheres, is it a gift to the people of Seattle? Or is it corporate propaganda of the highest order and a big waste of money? Believe it or not, if you know the Space Needle, built in 1962, that is privately owned, which is interesting. And of course, the Mopop Museum on the grounds of the public Seattle Center, that is also privately financed and owned. And I believe the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation negotiated for a prime piece of publicly owned property for their privately run tax avoidance scheme. And, we're doing a podcast about Seattle crime. We will get to you, Mr. Gates. We will get to you in due time. But now it is time to promote some of our sponsors and their products and services in the form of advertising.
Alexa, open the spheres.
Okay, Jeff.
Thank all of you for joining us this morning, and please make sure to get a chance to walk around and enjoy yourselves. This is a remarkable environment, and thank you, John, and the whole team for pulling this incredibly complex project off. Thank you.
Okay, we're back. I wanted to mention Amazon's banana stand. Again, their marketers are brilliant, huh? They give away free bananas. They have a little booth. You get free bananas, and that's anyone, not just an Amazon worker, but anyone can come get a free banana. I don't think they've gone as far as to put the Amazon penis logo on as a sticker onto the banana, but you see their logo and their signage at the banana stand, of course, because they want to remind you Amazon is the place where you can get free bananas from a booth. And they're spreading joy and goodwill throughout the community. And the Amazon logo with the sideways penis, put a banana sideways and stick it on there and see what you get. And what good would giant spheres be without an accompanying banana? Okay, so honesty is my best policy. I'm not really working from a full script doing these podcast episodes. We're just throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks. Our most popular episode so far has been when we interviewed our friend Elaine for the Seattle in the Swinging 60s. So we're going to take a break, have a smoke, get our alkaloids in order, brew up some espresso. We're going to come back with that, and then we're going to wrap it up with a obituary for a guy who was sadly killed by a tree, a tech guy. Oh, the misery. Not everyone who is a tech superstar making $250,000 a year has a happy life or has a life that ends well. Talking first about Justin Ferrari. This is I believe he worked at Amazon, software engineer, whatever. He's driving home from work with his kids and his parents, and a random shot from a Seattle gang member caught him in the head and killed him instantly. And this was a shock. I mean, it's horrible, but it's like, a person of color gets killed this way. Well, oh, yeah. And then, Seattle erupted when this happened. Oh, my God. A wealthy person from Amazon was a victim of this violence? No, now our society really is broken. That brings me to the Seward Park tree death. It's a beautiful park on Seattle's Lake Washington, and there was a windstorm, and there's this guy, we won't mention his name, but he was in the car with his baby daughter parked in this park during a severe windstorm, and a tree came down and killed him. And a passersby came and saw this and found the kid and called 911, and just a complete freak accident. And believe it or not, me and Max hiked up there. We had no idea this was happening, but we wanted to see tree damage. And then we saw all these cops in a coroner's van, and so we were some of the first people to witness this. Dog break? That's a Chihuahua. Anyway, so disturbing all around. One thing is, this guy's family did a GoFundMe, and it raised over $90,000. This rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, he worked at Nintendo, okay? Fucking dogs are going to ruin this obituary for this guy? So he worked at Nintendo. He's making $200,000 a year. He's got fucking life insurance. Sure, it's sad. He's got 2 kids. To go and raise $90,000 on a GoFundMe for this wealthy guy, it really disturbed me. And again, this is like the wealth disparity in this country. Do you think someone with no family, no money, who's going to die tragically, you think anyone is going to raise any amount of money in his memory? No, that's not the way it works. So I went by the site of the tragedy where the Nintendo guy was killed by the tree that blew over a couple weeks later. And I have some photos of remnants of a shattered tree and some dead flowers. And you go by there now and it's just all overgrown. It's back. And there's something comforting about that. If you just let things be, nature will take over. You have a vacant lot. You're not even doing anything with it. You know, the seeds are going to come on the wind and suddenly you're going to have plants. And you can call them weeds, which people, anything that's not a crop that can be eaten, is that a weed? I think it's just a beautiful part of nature. And it makes you wonder why Jeff Bezos and Amazon didn't just buy this piece of property in downtown Seattle and build a park and put some plants there. They could have saved hundreds of millions of dollars, but that's not the point. That's not what they're all about. They don't want that. They want a big, giant building, big, unfeasibly large testicular spheres. Yeah, that's kind of satanic. Okay, for podcast shout out.
Podcast, shout out.
Jimmy Dore. This guy is a sarcastic bastard. Far left, dirtbag lefty, hates Nancy Pelosi. He's for Bernie. He knows Elizabeth Warren is a fraud, and he has a podcast. Check it out. I do want to mention, of course, as we always do, Seattle Sucks. Seattle.sucks. The podcast. At Seattle Sucks Pod on Twitter. One of the guys, Greg, we're going to have him on if we do part 2 of our Amazon episodes. He basically lays it out. What is Amazon? They say, it's innovation. It's not innovation. It's a guy who came up with a way to do a Sears catalog online. And the only reason he succeeded is because he's a Wall Street hedge fund guy. And he got his Wall Street bunnies to pump billions of dollars into his scheme. And the scheme is this. If you pump enough money into something, you can kind of monopolize that niche and do it at no profit. Convince your Wall Street backers, no, we're all going to plow every bit back into the business. And eventually you control that business as a monopoly or a monopsony. And then you jack up the prices because you're in control.
Hello, my name is Jessica. Hot chili on pizza.
Vote Bernie is all I can say because he's the only politician out there that has the guts to stand up to these guys. Okay, Jeff, you're a piece of shit, and we are done with you for now. I hope this has been entertaining. This has been the Doomed Planet Podcast, Episode 12, Inside Jeff's Balls. We are part of the Wild World News Network. You can find us at doomedplanet.com. Goodbye.
5, 6, 7, 8. Goodbye. This is the end of the song.